Let me see. I'm gonna test my bootleg shit again. Hold on.
Yeah, no helium or whatever.
Oh no!
Oh, it almost seems like by you pressing that, it fucks up the internet.
Let me see. Let me see if that does it again, because you did sound crazy right now.
Hello.
Nah, you're good. You're good. To blame some other shit.
All right, we're recording.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'm back with another virus, baby.
Yo, you even sound funky. Yo, it's the fucking the same. What is it like every month? Right now, on average,
I feel like it's every 2 weeks. Yeah, I guess every month. That would equal every month. Yeah, bro. We just finished the year with a nasty flu. Thank God we went to Disney and didn't have anything. But right when we got back,
Blacka.
first second week of January, conjunctivitis.
What does that mean?
Which normally that's pink eye. But I guess pink eye got fucking radioactive because apparently the pink eye of old is not the pink eye of now. This pink eye has attached to the flu, and you're frozen. Are you good?
Good.
I thought you caught pink screen, but yeah, it's what?
No, because the audio sounded a little choppy. So apologies to y'all listening. Just bear with us, bro. By the way, Kay is not with us today. He was dealing with some other shit, so you got the two of us. But continue. Sorry.
So, anyways, yeah. So it's pink eye with flu symptoms, but apparently pink eye has always been a viral infection that attacks your sinuses. It's not really an eye thing. It's just that it secretes. It does the discharge the same way you would have congestion, but it does it through the eyes also.
So did you feel respiratory things as well? Like congestion in chest?
Yeah, congestion. It was more of a head thing, but I mean, we're coughing like like you had like phlegm in the chest. Again, it was just nasty. It's been nasty, bro, and it's very contagious. So I couldn't do a drink champs, which is very rare because I'll go to drink champs sick. People have seen it, but not sick where I'm contagious. Like if I had a cold or something, I'll go when I'm on 3 or 4 days after I've had it, and you're not contagious. But
look at you being responsible human being. Good for you.
I don't want to fucking be a super spreader, but yeah. So and then drinking doesn't help the immune. Whatever. Point is that the whole family caught it. The kids brought it home, or they're the ones the first one that got it, and then we got it. And honestly, man, the same thing goes for what I told you last time, man. Like you get in this depressive state of mind because you're just like beat down by this shit. You're like, come on again.
Yeah.
I can't work the way I want to. I can't, do even household chores the way I want to. Can't be the parent you want to because you're so like down and tired and sick. And it's just like you get pretty fucking depressed, man.
And so the whole house got it at the same time.
The kids first. Okay. They were like a few days ahead. Midweek, me and my girl start getting congestion. My girl actually got a little bit before me. Nothing in the eyes. And so it was weird, bro. Like you feel like a regular like sickness coming on, sore throat, and then all of a sudden you wake up with your eyes shut.
Oh, I had that. I had that a few weeks ago. My eye was like completely.
So you had it then, bro. You had pink eye.
Yeah, but it was nothing like your joint. My joint was strictly the eye, and it was bugged out for like swollen shut for like 3-4 days.
Well, damn, bro. Swollen shut or no? This is shut because not swollen. You probably had a sty in your eye.
I had a sty, conjunctivitis.
You had conjunctivitis too.
Actually, the doctor didn't say that. I went to urgent care and they just said a bacteria got under my eyelid. I told her pink eye. She kind of just nodded, and that was kind of what it went.
I think pink eye is just like the go-to for anything in your eyeball.
I think so. But that shit was wild. Like it was literally what you just described. Like one night, the evening before I went to sleep, it was all good. Woke up the next day, it was like, yo, why can't I open my eye? And I go to the bathroom, I'm like, yo.
But it was swollen?
It was swollen in the corner of my eye, and then the rest of the eye was kind of chill.
Yeah, mine wasn't swollen. It was just that it had released all that discharge, that mucus or whatever, and you have eye boogers. You know how eye boogers get hard, so the whole thing just hardens throughout the night, and it shuts your eyelid. Yeah,
so
you got that
out there
super
looking
glue.
You was looking crazy that morning.
Nah, I'm like, pry that bitch open, wash it out, bought all the eye rinses and shit, and washing our whatever, bro. We're getting over it, hopefully, and just wait another couple of weeks, and I'll tell you the next virus we got. It's like I'm like the virus mixtape DJ.
Yo, seriously, bro. The remix of the remix of the remix.
Yeah, but I got a question. Go ahead. What?
I have a question. So back to kind of the way it makes you feel, right? Like you feel helpless. Your whole like everything kind of shuts down. You can't be a good parent. You
just feel like a letdown to yourself and to people. And then on top of that, you're not going to tell everybody. Like, imagine that you just told people a couple of weeks ago, oh, because I was sick. I didn't do this because I was sick. I didn't. Right. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, what's up? Can you do the kid? Because I'm sick. It just sounds like an excuse.
Yeah, you just sound full of shit. Every time you're like, bro, I can't. I'm sick. I'm like, come on, guy.
Exactly. And so it just, you feel like, fuck, bro, you're such a letdown. You're such a failure. And then you watch Ancient Apocalypse and you're like, we're all going to die anyways.
Bro, I saw that on the Y-Files.
Is that what you're talking about? No, Ancient Apocalypse is the joint on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay, because you referenced it in one of our text messages the other day, and I had no idea what you was talking about. Uh-oh, you stuck.
Am I?
All right, you're back. There was something about that. There was something about that, like an Apocalypse with that YouTube channel Y-Files. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, but anyhow, my question was going to be: Have you done any legwork to try and find a therapist? Remember the challenge from a few episodes?
No, because I've been sick.
Here we go.
No, for real, bro. Because I haven't been able to do shit. So anytime, like any mental space that I get to do anything, I do some work shit. Like, nah, I haven't.
You're not doing your work shit. Yo, cut the bullshit, E. Go find a fucking therapist.
Bro, I need an assistant to find my therapist.
Tell me what health insurance you got off air, and I will find him. I'll give you. So this is what I did. And thanks to the dudes in the Fly Dad chat group. So, see, I knew you was gonna go somewhere else with it. See, but you're sick, bro. You're slow.
Thanks to the dude that Magic Mike.
Thanks to the people, the guys that are in the Fly Dad group on Telegram. Them dudes, we started having a serious. See, you laughing, bro. This is serious right now. Get out of your Magic Mike fantasy right now.
Like, yo, Manny Digital secretly has another business where Fly Dads is like these dancers. Call the Fly Dads. You're the head dancer.
Fly Dad group, the Chippendales of the Fly Dads.
Yeah, the Fly Dads.
That might come out. We'll see. But anyhow, in the chat group, we talk about a bunch of different things, and I mentioned. I asked the question, like, what do you guys think about therapy? Because in this group, we have a diverse group of guys, white, black, Hispanic, you name it, right? And so we talked about how we perceive or we experience like the Latino male reaction to therapy. By and large, like we're kind of defensive about it.
Right.
And so I kind of my question was posed in a way to try to get the sense of like, are they with it? Are they not? Whatever. And I had a couple of guys, one that just started, like literally, I think it was that day when I posed the question, seeing a therapist. And another one that talked about kind of some of the things that he experienced with therapists. And I was floored in a good way because they were so forthcoming with the information that how they experienced it and whatnot. And it kind of lit a fire under my ass because I've been sitting on doing the research to figure out who I want to use as a therapist after, I submitted the challenge to you. So it got me moving to start putting a list together. And I got like kind of narrowed it down to like 5 people, and I'm going to talk to them and then narrow it down to 1 or 2 and then figure out who I'm going to go with. But I've said all of that to say like, that's the process I think you should go through
These would
unless you
be
got like
video conference call therapy sessions.
I want to do in person.
Yeah, I want to do in person too.
Yeah, because for me, I mean, maybe when we can't for some reason, this will be a good like backup. But I want to be able to like separate my house from where I do therapy and like give it that space and that respect, so I have zero opportunity to kind of move anywhere else. Like I'm locked in when I'm doing this.
Yeah,
thing.
if I do it on Zoom, I'm gonna feel like I'm doing a podcast.
Right. And easily distracted. Like something happens over here, like easy for you to be like, yo, I'm sick. I gotta go over there. You know what I mean? So
Thanks.
So that's my approach. See if you like whatever your insurance. I'm going down the insurance path because I wasn't even sure how to start. But then somebody mentioned like, yo, I did it through my insurance. I'm like, shit, duh. So go see the providers on your insurance and see if there's anybody that you rock with. So
how would I know if I rock with them?
You have to talk to them. There's no other way. And a lot of people screw it up. The relationship you start with, typically you go through a couple, is what I hear from people. So it may not be the first one that you work out with. I know you're already like overwhelmed, bro. Jesus. Oh, now he's frozen. See, now has another excuse. Oh no, I can't because I'm frozen. We're gonna have to edit the hell out of this episode to make sure there's not too many gaps. Okay, so you're back. Oh. So my question to you is, or my I guess challenge number 2 is like, yo, pare down a fucking list. Just look online, read up a little bit. That's a challenge. I know you don't like reading. Konya, you're too difficult, bro.
I'm difficult, bro. I admit, in a lot of ways, I'm not difficult, but in other ways, I am difficult. It's really just I got to add it to my list. It'll be 3017 on my list.
Yo, I'm gonna text you what your insurance is. I'm gonna fucking find you a list of people I think. And then I know how this is gonna go. You're gonna be like, bro, why would I ever talk to this person? Because look at what they say over here. I'll be like, I don't give a fuck. Go talk to them.
All right.
You heard it here first. I'm gonna get on your ass too. Watch me creep in social media and be like, yeah, you can pause that. I'm gonna fucking troll you on social media. Be like, oh, that was a dope episode of fucking Drink Champs. But where's it therapy yet?
Block. Block. Listen, I have a question for you, man.
Yeah.
So I want to see what your take on this little dilemma with my girl about our daughter. And I know it's kind of biased because it's gonna be we're the guys. So you might lean towards the guy outlook on this or perspective. But so every night, I'll put my son to sleep, and then I come into the room where my girl and my daughter, my fiance and my daughter are getting ready for bed, and then my fiance leaves, and I stay there with my daughter and I tell her stories, bedtime stories, and then I leave. So for whatever reason, and this is another thing we could talk about later, my daughter's been having a tough time. Not tough, she just doesn't want to eat anything anymore. Did your kids go through that? She's just super picky and she's losing weight.
So it kind of started that way in most cases across my kids, and then their appetite opens up and they start to eat more things.
I saw it with some of my friends' kids.
Yeah, but you're saying your daughter has started eating pretty much a bunch of things. Now she's dropping off.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, younger she ate whatever, started to get picky, and now she doesn't want to ever eat meals. Like she'll snack all day if you give her snacks, but she doesn't want to sit for a meal. And everything you give her, even though she might say, "Ooh, I want that," the minute you put that plate in front of her, "Oh, I don't want that," and then she negotiates like 2 pieces of this, 1 piece of that, and then my dessert, treat.
Yeah. Yep.
So, anyways,
my 6-year-old does that right now.
But what's scary is that she's losing weight. But again, like I said, I'm not too worried because I've seen this in my friends' kids where they lost weight and and then later in life everything was fine. So she's losing some weight, and then she was sick recently, so she was cold, very cold.
Yeah.
So she has her pajamas on, and then she has this Frozen robe, bathrobe. Mm-hmm. She wanted to put it on, and then she wanted to put like this beanie on to go to sleep.
Yep.
But we have the AC pumping. I was cold. I had like a hoodie on.
Right.
So she asked, my daughter's like, I guess I think I heard them talk a little bit, but I wasn't sure, where my fiance was telling her not to she couldn't put on the robe. So when she left, my daughter had apparently put the robe under her pillow with the beanie. And then she goes to me, look. And then she's like, can I put it on? And then I was like, yeah, I mean, if you're cold, why not? She'll take it off. I go, yeah, go ahead, put it on. And the beanie. She wanted to put a scarf around her neck, and I said no, because that's around your neck, and just whatever. Yeah. Just to be cautious. No scarf around your neck. I took that with me out. I said, in the morning, if you want to put the scarf on, you can put the scarf on. And I walk out the room. My girl had been watching in the baby cam,
spying on you.
And she comes and she's like, why would you do that? I told her she couldn't do it. You need to go tell her to take it off. I go, nah, I'm not gonna tell her to take it off. I go, what's the big deal? Go tell her to take it off now. I go, no, I'm not gonna. And I think I told my daughter, like, I don't know, whatever. Point is that I was like, I'm not gonna tell her to take it off. And she's like, yeah, you let her put it on, so you got to tell her to take it off. I go, no, I don't care if she wears it. You do. So you got to tell her to take it off.
Right.
That's your thing. I don't see a problem with it. She could just take it off at night, in the middle of the night, if she's hot. Oh, no, she won't do that. I go, yes, she would. Any human being will take something off if they're hot.
Right.
And then, and then my fiance got mad at me. And then she went into the room, which I was hoping I was going to deter her from going into the room. But she went into the room and made her take it off. What do you think? Who's wrong? Who's right? Don't worry, my girl won't get mad at you.
It's a fight picking exercise, right? So like, what is the danger or negative in that situation? What's the point of the situation, right? So like, I'm with you, like you estimated I would be. I don't see a problem with it. So I wouldn't have an issue with it. I'd be like, yeah, go. I don't care. It's not that big a deal at the end of the day. I'm just curious, like, did she explain to you why she was so adamant about not having your daughter wear the robe and the beanie?
So, okay, yeah, some backstory. My daughter has developed this weird thing where she says that if she sweats on her back, she goes fucking ape shit.
Oh,
like the minute we put her in the car, like the second, if the AC is not fucking blasting, she's like, I'm sweating. There's no way she could even be sweating. I'm sweating, but I'm sweating. Like, yo, she does this thing. And then, even when she's not in the car, if it's hot outside, I'm sweating. And so I think that was my girl's reasoning. She's like, how she gets about sweating. But I'm like, okay, if she's sleepy and she's sweating, she'll just take it off so she won't sweat anymore. The truth of the matter is, when you sleep, sometimes you get hot under the covers and you're going to sweat. So I'm not going to believe that this is the first time that she'll sweat wearing this thing.
Right.
She's had to have sweat. Not even a question. She has sweated before,
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I would have left it the way it was anyway and kept it pushing.
And then my girl was like, now you got to tell her to, and I'm like, no, I don't, because I don't got an issue with it. So I thought I don't have an issue with it.
I thought you were gonna go into a slightly different direction with this, more like the conflict of parenting, where she's on one side.
It's both.
Because on that side of things, like I have challenges, but I could be the nitpicker sometimes, and I'll call your girl the nitpicker in this particular example,
right?
Because I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. But like when it comes to us being on the same page on a decision, right, that we think is important, like my son now, he's the one that does. Oh, I froze. See, now
you froze.
Now
I'm praying and shit.
My son's responsibility now is to do the kitchen. That's his chore, right? So my eldest daughter, that was hers. So now he's graduated into her shoes and she's doing other things. There's nights where he doesn't do the kitchen. and he goes to sleep. And so I'm like, yo, to my wife, like, I defer to her because when I try to impose something, we can't be consistent. She can't follow it. She can't be consistent about it. So I'm like, kind of like, yo, he didn't do it. What you gonna do about it? Like, figure it out, because we can't just let it slide. It's not fair to the older daughter who always had her stuff together. So we got to like balance this properly. And then I know my wife's like, oh, damn, you're right, but shut the fuck up, you know? So we don't necessarily have a conflict, but that inconsistency in our ability to hold our kids accountable creates challenges that frustrate the shit out of me, because if I say blue, she's going to say blue, green, and then ultimately it ends up being red, and like we're completely distant. So all that to ask you, like, do you find yourselves having a lot of those situations, or is it kind of relatively mild?
I don't think we have a lot of them. I don't know. Nah, I do think we have a healthy amount of times where we will argue, not argue like full blown, but have a debate in front of the kids about something that's we do or don't want them to do.
Yeah.
Which I think is not cool for the kids to witness, because then it shows that we don't have a consistent front line, you know, like and the kids know, they know this, because my daughter's hilarious. My daughter will be like, can I do this? And I'll be like, no. And then she goes, Mommy, can I do this? And I'm like, hold up a second. I just told you no. So obviously she knows that it's different, and that's not good.
My kids do it too. My youngest, for sure, every time. She's like, all right, yeah, I got a yes over here. I'm good. If I got a no, I'm gonna go seek a yes.
All right.
And she makes sure that we're in different sides of the house. So I didn't pick up on what my wife said and vice versa.
Oh no, my daughter will do it right in front of your face.
Damn. Bold.
Yeah, she's foul. A little off topic. Terrible twos, right?
Yeah.
So my son, I feel like he has full-fledged jumped into the terrible twos.
Yep, both feet.
This kid is the sweetest toddler in the world, and he has just flipped the switch on us. Like throwing so his favorite phrases have become, I don't want something else. What's the other phrase that he says a lot? I don't want something else. And there's something else that, like, saying no to something. And then his tantrums are these loud pitch scream cries, like yesterday. And then sometimes it's like for no reason. Yesterday, my girl met me at the gym with the kids, because my daughter was at gymnastics. And then they like to go in my car with me. So my son and my daughter go in my car, and they have their water bottles. But my girl took the water bottles in front of him. She took it to her car. And then the door is closed, and we're about to go. And then he wants his water bottle. But he clearly saw his mom had took it. And, the doors were closed, and it was already too late. And I said, we'll get it when we get home. We live right, we're right by our house. No way, bro. This guy, he cried. He screamed at the top of his lungs. I mean, it could shatter glass. And he kept that consistency the whole drive. Screaming, kicking, crying, thrashing. And I'm just like, bro, who are you? And then we pull up, and my neighbors are outside their house. I don't even want to open the door, because he's like, sounds like he's being tortured in the back seat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, bro, calm down, bro, calm down. Nothing will calm him down. And so that's been like in the past week, he's turned into this. So I'm like wondering, like, is this really like what happens?
Oh, it could be way worse than that. I know it's hard to imagine.
But a sweet kid.
Yes.
That you're like, oh man, this is a model toddler.
Yes.
All of a sudden,
completely normal.
Turning the switch or turning the corner, and just all of a sudden, being defensive, being, just saying no to everything, like just wanting to go against you on everything. All of a sudden,
it's a hyper growth stage, which hormones come into play, like their body's changing. All these things are happening at a very rapid pace compared to what's happened before for him. Mm-hmm. So it is just a normal part. Like there's some kids who are still model kids, but the majority, I feel like, go through this transition, and it's the hell that we always talk about when we talk about the terrible twos. So what I'm curious about in your experience so far, given that you've already kind of gone through this with your daughter to some degree, how has your patience been specifically in that moment? Like when you were driving from the gym to your house, what was your demeanor, your reaction to the whole thing?
I got to control myself. Like in my mind, I'm like,
losing
I want to turn on Welcome to the Jungle and drive like a maniac and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's fucking go crazy. Let's fucking go crazy. You want to go crazy? You want to see crazy? And my poor daughter, which is funny because I felt like she knew it was coming as my fiance was leaving. My daughter usually wants to go in the car with me too. She goes, I want to go with you, mommy. But she was already strapped in, so my girl was like, nah.
Like she was like abandoned ship.
Because that's another thing that happens, and I'm proud of her because it usually, if my son cries, even as a baby when he would cry, it would trigger my daughter to cry. Like she'd be like, oh, I can't take it, and she'll cover her ears. Yeah. Tell him to stop. And at first she's like, oh my God, he's going crazy. But then she just put on her switch, and she just started like she was in a trance or something. She was like meditating.
No doubt.
He's like, put my window down, daddy. And mind you, he's going, ah! Boogers are coming out. He's crying. But water, though, the tears are coming out like this. Like that's how the pressure of him screaming. He's like trying to get off the season. Crazy, like the Incredible Hulk. It was wild. All because he wanted his water bottle. Which is, I'm telling you, for my son, if you've met my son, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Very briefly.
He's such a calm little sweet kid. So this is so abnormal for him to act this way. It's scary, man. It's scary. But yeah, what I did is I had that in my mind, like I told you, the Welcome to the Jungle scene, and you get a little tense and there's some tension. But then I just turned on the music. I didn't put it up too loud. Put some down the windows for a little bit, and I just acted like, I'm not hearing this craziness. And then when we would stop at a stoplight, I put the windows back up because it sounded insane. And in the house, when he's crying like that, like it's so piercing. I'm like, even though we have impact windows, the neighbors have to hear this. Damn. They must think these kids are getting abused here.
Right.
Like he goes crazy, dude. So yeah, bro.
And you can't even talk to him. Like there's nothing. It's just kind of
you talk to him like afterwards. And after he goes through it, like you can see that it's like he got something out.
Right. And
then he calms down and he kind of he gets back to normal. And then you tell him like, Papa, what happened? Like, yo, you were being a bad boy. And he just looks at you like, oh, like whatever. But one thing that kind of goes with what you were saying, he's been complaining about his legs hurting him. And I think, I'm telling my girl, I think that's growing pains.
Yeah, I think he's having a growth spurt.
Like really seriously, like owie, owie, owie. But then he'll go to the other, like owie, owie, owie.
It could be that, or is he doing any activities? Like, I don't know. You take him anywhere to run around and do things?
I mean, the park. We have a playground in the house. He plays, but no, he's not doing any. He's still a young little kid.
Yeah, so it's got to be that. My guess is that's what it is. But as you were speaking. Yo, I remember when I lived in Kendall and we would visit family in Miami Lakes. When we were leaving, with my oldest, at the time we just had the one. She was like 4.5, approaching 5. Bro, every time we left that house, because that house for her was a lot of fun, like a lot of family, a lot of her cousins. Like she was having a good time. And so when you're a kid, you don't ever want that to stop. So when it was time for us to have to leave, it was a fucking nightmare to get her in the car. And once we got her in the car, it was fucking Armageddon. She was like a child possessed. All the shit that you just talked about, the screaming, the kicking and fucking throwing shit. Like if you could picture somebody with a lot of hair, just like waving their head back and forth like a maniac, like that's what she looked like.
Yeah.
like literally like possessed. And the drive is like 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
So we were in that bitch for 40 minutes, door to door, with that insanity the whole time. That's my first experience with a kid. She's my stepchild in reality, but like, I don't treat her that way. But that was like my introduction to, like, at 4 and change years of age, yo, do I really want to sign up for this shit? Because
did you feel comfortable trying to even, did you try to deal with it at all? Like,
I didn't.
What were your hands-on methods as a stepfather?
Yo, so I could only resort to, I mean, I would try to speak. I'd raise my voice to try to match hers, not like screaming at her, but like so she could hear me. And then at some point I gave up. I was like, I have to work on being patient is what I resigned myself to do, because I can't put hands on the kid. That's not going to help nobody. I can't have a screaming match with a fucking 4-year-old. Like, that's stupid. All I can do that's in my control is drive this car safely and not wild out. And that's, and this is not one trip. These are almost every time we went to Miami Lakes, it was the same thing on repeat. Right. So 40 minutes the whole time. And then, yo, we got to a point where it was just like, we had to prep her. Hey, we're going to so-and-so's. You can't wild out when we leave, or else something's getting taken away. Like, it was always like trying to get her to understand like this is crazy. And we just had to deal with it. We had to eat it. It was the only way. And just work on patience. The
part of the, like, patience I can handle with just letting it run its course. The problem that we're having right now is, like, I don't know if it's as strict. Well, I mean, you don't have young ones.
Right.
Your youngest is what, 5, 6?
She's 6.
Okay. So the school that they go to, they have like if they think your kid's sick, they gotta go home.
Right.
And so in like my son, because of all the sickness and the holidays, he's been on and off of school for a lot. So he rather be home. He doesn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
And he associates being home with me. So he's like, I want to be with daddy. I want to be with daddy. So these past couple times, or when we try to get him to go to school, and he starts to cry and have these tantrums, as of recently, the issue is that it brings out all his sinuses. It makes him cough. It makes him have boogers. It makes his eyes swell up. So it's like, you got to take him, and they'll be like, he's sick. You got to go home. They're like, yo, he's not sick, bro. He just had a moment, you know. So you're like you want to be patient, but you don't have the time.
Yeah.
And you want them to stop. It's like, it's insane, but you can't. So you're like in a conundrum there, and yeah, man,
shit ain't sweet, bro. This parenting shit ain't sweet.
But I gotta go.
That ditto. All right, my bro. Well, I hope you feel better.
Peace.
Later.
Later.